ask, what are some of the questions that you have when it comes to what it's like to be a client at Summit Health, and what are some of the other struggles that somebody else might have already gone through, and what tips they might have. So today, instead of sharing those things from a coach's perspective, I have one of Summit Health's first clients who also happens to be my mom, Cheri Spatenka, and she's done really well with Summit Health. And so I thought we'd sit down and just ask her a couple of questions. So, first, just take us through briefly, like, what has your journey been like with Summit Health? How'd you get started? What are some things? Just kind of give us an overview about your journey so
Okay.
far.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember how long it's been. But I started with Amy, and Amy just approached me about what I was doing. She heard me talking about some of my struggles as far as weight loss, not seeing results in the gym. I was working so hard, and it's like I want proof. I want to see proof in the mirror that I'm working hard. And so she started working with me, and it's been a long journey, um, but it's been an awesome journey. So changed my goals up a couple of different times. Um, Now I feel I'm at a spot where just maintenance, and but I still change my goals often. So yeah.
Cool. So, how did you decide exactly what your goals were for weight loss, for performance in the gym, and how have those changed in the last couple of years?
Sure. Again, like I said, when I first started, my goal was basically like the fat loss. I wanted to see the hard work that I had put in. Um, and so learning to document what I was eating, figuring out where I was lacking. So that was kind of the first round of losing some, and then I was getting discouraged with the weight loss because I was losing strength. So we had to change it up again to performance. So that was cool. And then back to weight loss. And so, yeah.
Cool. What is your gym schedule? Like, what time do you go? How many days? How do you fuel your workouts? What does that look like?
Sure. I usually go 3, 4 times a week. Typically, I go to the 4:30 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. class. If we are around on the weekends, I'll do the early morning class on Saturday. I also try to get a couple runs and walks in between that. Um, During the day, when I go the 4:30 or 5:30 p.m., I'm not really fueling for a workout because I feel like I've done that all day, so I don't feel like I need to supplement there. If it's a 9 a.m. class, I'll have a fuel for fire before I work out, or a banana in my coffee.
Awesome.
So,
Just some natural fruit.
yep.
Great. Something that's a little bit unique about Summit Health's approach to weight loss that's different from a lot of other programs is that usually we encourage our clients to eat more food than they're currently eating when they get to us. And when you've been trying to lose weight for a long time, it can be really hard to wrap your head around eating more food instead of less. So, how did you feel when Coach Amy told you that you needed more food to lose weight? And how did you overcome some of those feelings of nervousness?
Super panicked when she first I tracked for 2 weeks, and then she's like, "Okay, here's how we're gonna do things differently. We're adding more food. We're adding more carbs." That was really hard because I had come from a background of like Atkins and not eating carbs, any carbs, and that scared me. Um, but I figured she was the expert. I trust the process. Um, I see how she works out. I see how she looks. You can tell she works hard. She cares about her food, and trusted the process. Not saying it was overnight. It took a lot of just trusting her, but then yeah, it was good. Eating more now, I now I can't eat less. It's so hard.
Which is good
Yep.
because then your body is fueled, like you said, for those workouts, and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to hit the gym a lot harder
Right.
when your body is well fueled, which is really good. So now that you've reached your weight loss goal, do you still track in Fitness Pal? And if you do, will you always do that? If not, how else do you stay on track?
Um, I still track in Fitness Pal. I am a list person, so I like to check things off the list. And I just feel like Fitness Pal keeps me accountable. And it's not that I don't go over or under on days, but it does. It helps keep me on track. I will probably always do that just because I geek out over goals, reaching goals, keeping goals. Um, yeah, so that's kind of my thing. And I track other ways too. So
Okay. So you're using Fitness Pal not necessarily so strict and like a diet you're following, but more just to have a little bit of awareness about what you're consuming and in what amounts.
right, right.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
What other, you mentioned you do other kinds of logging. What other kinds of logging do you do?
Okay. I also keep everything in push press. So if we do need gym workouts, I log everything in there so I know what my weights are, where my PRs are at, how hard I'm going. I also, at work, I'm part of the HR department, and we do, I try to help people set goals there also every month. So every month I have people tracking their workouts, walking, mowing lawn, anything. And then there's points associated with that, which um, earns you gifts and stuff. So I also keep track of fruits and vegetables, water, and how much time I'm spending in activity. So I geek out over that one too.
How often do you weigh in?
Probably once every other week.
Okay.
Maybe not much.
Just enough to see if there's anything that looks a little goofy.
Correct.
But not needing to do it daily.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. What are some other just general tricks, tips you have about staying disciplined and staying accountable, especially with, coming to your cabin and the amount of other things that you have going on? What are some things that help you to stay on track?
Um, it really helps for me when I look at what our gym is doing that day and trying to maybe throw that in to what we're doing up here. So we've kind of brought our own little gym up here of some weights, and we got a pull-up bar, and I'm lucky my husband likes to stay active with me. So if we're not swimming all day or snowmobiling all day, then I definitely try to encourage something of some type of a workout. And I grab my daughter and make her come up with a workout for me for each day of the weekend.
Love it. Are there any foods that you used to eat that you don't eat anymore?
I wouldn't say like 100% stay away from anything certain, but we used to be like quick trip junkies on our way up and our way back from the cabin. Was a time where it wasn't healthy, it wasn't good, grabbing a bag of chips or Doritos or pizza, frozen pizza from there. And it's just like we don't do that anymore. We make sure that we stop at a decent restaurant, have a decent meal. So again, not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not in our routine. It's very, very far and few between.
Yeah, I like that. That it's not something that you had to eliminate entirely. There's
Mm-hmm.
no food that you just absolutely will not have. But and on occasion you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But for it to be your routine, to find a different way to fuel your body and that your routine is healthy so that when you go off track, it's not a big deal and you just come back to your routine.
Right.
I really
Right.
like that. Um, a topic that I talk about with a lot of my clients who are around your age, 25. So they struggle with menopause, and it's something that people just don't really talk about. So I would love to hear, sleep, diet, recovery, brain fog, just, whatever you are willing to share as far as what you experienced and then how you've gone about dealing with some of that stuff and, what tricks you have for improving those symptoms.
Um, yes, when I first started with Amy, I was definitely premenopausal and dealing with the hot flashes, couldn't sleep, um, Sunday night anxiety that would go with it. I think that's, with menopause seems to get a little bit deeper. Definitely the brain fog, had started a new job. It was just there was a lot. Um, so it was crazy how getting my food down, getting the right amount of nutrients in my body, the right nutrients, adding the micronutrients was huge. Um, Figuring out how to get sleep without taking a Tylenol PM was amazing. Just and then maybe working out just a little bit more than I first was when we started at the gym and started with Summit Health. Um, all helped tremendously. When the hot flashes started to get a little bit more intense, that's when Amy introduced me to the Betty Bites. Um, for me, I know it doesn't work for everybody else, but life changing. I mean, they just completely um, took all that away. I still can get warm, but I don't wake up with the hot flashes. I don't have them during the day ever, and the fatigue, all of that, kind of went in sync. Um, so I didn't have to use, or I should say, I didn't have to. I never used the hormone therapies and stuff. I used just the Betty Bites as my hormone therapy. Our family, we have breast cancer that runs in the family. That's been fueled by hormones, so I knew that wasn't an option for me. This worked perfect, and I'm on the back side of it now, and I can say all three, the fitness, the eating, and the Betty Bites helped tremendously for me.
Just made it manageable.
Made it manageable.
Still
Yep.
going through it, still having some symptoms, but at least they're not affecting you so much day to day.
Right.
And you're able to get through your day.
Correct.
Awesome. Have you done, since you've reached maintenance, have you done any like bulking or leaning cycles, or are you pretty much just in maintenance?
Pretty much just in maintenance. So kind of did all that throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just maintaining. So.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Anything you want anybody to know who's at the beginning of their journey with Summit Health or thinking about coming on with us? What would you like them to know?
The hugest thing I would say is to be super open with your coach. The food journal that I would fill out for Amy, I probably wrote too much, but yet I felt like she knew my day and she knew what was going on in my life. So then we could see trends and what was working, what wasn't working. And she would share recipes and stuff with me. That helped a lot. Just trusting the process, and it really helped too to create buy-in with the family. I felt like I had a great support system, and that helped a lot. And when I didn't have that support system, sometimes I would send Amy a message and let her know, like, okay, this week's going to be hard, and she would just send me cues, an emoji, something, anything. But yeah, I would just say trusting your coaches, being super open, letting them know every part of your day, what was working, what wasn't working, was huge.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciated having you. And if anyone else has any more questions, just throw them in the comments and Cheri will go through and answer them for you. Have a great Sunday, everybody, and a great day out for the 4th tomorrow.